Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bytes and Banter podcast, episode 216. Jenny, how are things on your end?
Things are good, Mark. Ready to dive into another week of tech, and maybe some not-so-good tech uses, unfortunately. We're talking about a pretty significant cybersecurity incident today.
Yeah, definitely. We're digging into the cyber attack that hit the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office back in April. It's a really interesting case study, not just in the tech side of things, but the human and operational impacts. It really highlights a lot of the challenges public sector organizations face.
It really does. So, for anyone who missed it, back around April 14th, a ransomware group managed to get into the sheriff's office systems, and their response was pretty swift, right? They, didn't hesitate.
That's right. They detected unauthorized access, and, which is a key point here, they acted immediately to shut down their network. That's a crucial move in limiting the spread of an attack like this. Think of it as putting up a firewall, but like a real-world, unplug-everything kind of firewall.
Okay, wait, let me get this straight. They essentially hit the big red button to take everything offline to protect their data? Like, full system lockdown?
Exactly. Think of it like, if you smell smoke in part of your house, you don't wait to see if the whole house catches fire. You shut off the air vents, close doors, try to isolate it. That network shutdown was their way of isolating the problem. It might cause temporary inconvenience, but it can prevent much larger issues down the road.
Okay, got it. So they shut things down, but that obviously impacted their digital services, like their website and being able to access mugshots online, things like that. The public-facing stuff went dark for a bit.
Yep. Those public-facing things went offline for a bit, but credit where it's due. The sheriff, Austin Garrett, said that essential law enforcement operations, the actual policing part, that continued. They shifted to manual processes where needed. Back to basics.
Which is impressive in a crisis like that. Going back to paper and pen while dealing with a cyber attack. Wow. So who was behind it? We heard whispers early on, but it sounds like a specific group claimed responsibility. Not just some random hacker, right?
Yeah, the Keelan Group. 2-4 gang. Reportedly out of Russia. And they weren't just being annoying. They claimed to have stolen sensitive law enforcement data during the breach. 2-4. This wasn't just about locking things down. It was about data exfiltration.
Okay, stolen times sensitive times data. That sounds not good at all. What kind of data are we talking about? Like personal info or?
According to the reports, things like sensitive security plans, even details about July security plans, warrant databases, and tip line communications. That's the stuff you really don't want in the wrong hands. Information that could compromise investigations or put individuals at risk.
Right, because that data could potentially compromise ongoing investigations or put people at risk. It could have real-world consequences, so the hackers demanded a ransom, I assume? That's kind of their whole MO, right?
Oh, absolutely. They hit them with a $300,000 ransom demand. Pretty specific number, isn't it?
Wow. $300,000 just to get their systems back and hopefully prevent the release of that data. Did they pay it? I mean, that's a huge ethical question there.
Nope. Sheriff Garrett was pretty clear on this. He said they refused to pay, that they wouldn't subsidize criminal enterprises. Which, ethically, makes sense, doesn't it? Even though it can make the recovery process harder. And longer.
That brings up that whole debate about paying ransoms in these kinds of situations. There's the immediate pain of continued disruption versus the long-term problem of funding criminal groups and potentially encouraging more attacks. It's a real dilemma.
Precisely. It's a tough call for any organization, especially a public service one, with a duty to its citizens. Refusing to pay upholds an ethical stance. But as we saw here, it meant their IT systems were disrupted for weeks, into early May. That's a significant operational impact.
So how did they eventually recover? If they didn't pay the ransom, how did they get back online after weeks of disruption?
They brought in outside help. They hired a cybersecurity firm called Vendetta to assist with the recovery efforts. And that wasn't free either. They paid Vendetta $48,000 for their services. So while they didn't pay the attackers, recovery still had significant costs.
Okay, so they paid a security firm to fix it, which makes sense. $48,000 to Vendetta seems a significantly better investment than $300,000 to a ransomware gang. It's an investment in getting back on track properly.
Absolutely. It's an investment in recovery and, hopefully, better future security, rather than just a payout to attackers. Speaking of Kierland, they're not new to this. They've been linked to a number of attacks, as we mentioned.
They're a known quantity in the ransomware world, like they have a reputation.
Yeah. Reports indicate they've had at least 65 confirmed attacks, impacting over 2 million records globally. They often target organizations through phishing emails, which is a common entry point for these kinds of attacks. Note: it's that human element again.
Phishing emails. Still such a persistent problem. It just takes one wrong click sometimes, doesn't it? Are we seeing more of these attacks on government or public service agencies recently? It feels like it.
It seems to be a growing trend. Government and public services often hold valuable or sensitive data, and sometimes their cybersecurity budgets or infrastructure might not be as robust as private corporations, making them attractive targets. We saw other examples around the same time, like a breach in West Haven, Connecticut, in January 2025, affecting thousands of people. And that was a data breach, not ransomware, but still highlights the targeting of public entities.
Right, I remember hearing about that. And wasn't there a massive ransom demand on the Cleveland Municipal Court, too? That was a pretty eye-watering number, if I recall.
Yeah, back in February 2025, they faced a $4 million demand. These aren't isolated incidents. It's part of a larger pattern of cyber attacks against public services. It's a target-rich environment for these criminal groups, unfortunately.
So compared to other incidents, how does Hamilton County's situation stack up? You mentioned Cobb County, Georgia, too, and their response seemed different.
Right. That one was interesting because Cobb County only notified about 10 people after their breach. Hamilton County's impact seems larger in terms of the numbers notified or potentially affected, suggesting they might have had a wider scope of data compromised or simply a more transparent notification process. Transparency seems to be a key difference here.
Transparency definitely plays a role in maintaining public trust after a crisis like this. Sheriff Garrett's team seems to have focused on reassuring the public that core services were still running, even if digital systems were down. That communication piece is huge.
Exactly. Managing public perception and maintaining trust during a cybersecurity incident is essential. It's not just about fixing the tech. It's about communicating effectively with the community and showing that despite the disruption, core functions are being maintained.
So looking ahead, what does this Hamilton County case tell us about future prospects for cybersecurity in public sectors? Any silver linings or hard lessons learned?
It underscores the need for better investment in cybersecurity for public agencies. Cantillon and groups like them are likely to continue targeting these entities because of the sensitive data they hold. 3. It highlights the need for not just reactive measures like network shutdowns, but proactive measures like strong phishing training, robust security infrastructure, and regular security audits. It's an ongoing arms race.
An ongoing training, it sounds like, given how phishing is still such a go-to method for attackers. One click is all it takes. Okay, so to wrap this up, key takeaways seem to be that this was a significant attack by a known ransomware group. The sheriff's office refused to pay the ransom on principle, which led to continued disruption, but they ultimately recovered with outside help, and this is part of a larger trend of targeting public entities.
Couldn't have summarized it better myself, Jenny. It's a complex situation with technical, ethical, and operational layers, and a stark reminder that cybersecurity isn't just an IT problem. It impacts real-world services and public safety. It requires a multifaceted approach.
Absolutely. A lot to think about, especially for those in public service. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for breaking that down for us, Mark.
My pleasure, Jenny. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next time on Bites and Banter, where we might delve into some of those other attacks we mentioned.
Sounds good. Bye.